Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series. Welcome to Footy Centre podcast series.
Hello and welcome to another episode of FC Pitchside podcast with me, Thierry. Thank you very much for joining me and the boys here on this show and in this episode. Of course, as you know, it's all football that we bring you in the next 1 hour. And it's the off season. Of course, it's the summer, and after the Club World Cup, it's a lot of transfers that we'll be delving into, and also be looking at several other topics still in the world of football, as is. My name is Thierry, and of course, I'm here with Jonathan Mensah and Sicho Atrim. Guys, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How have you been, guys?
I've been great. Good to see you all again. Jonah, what's up?
I'm not smiling, bro. It's
my goodness. Just so you
good
know, to the audience, just so you know, I was asking Jonathan Mensah why he doesn't smile. Because defenders don't have to smile. Defenders don't have to.
Some they smile too much, then they do them Sulia left and right. Me 2010 World Cup, I go laugh way, then do Jomesa Sulia where I do penalty. I say I no go laugh anymore.
You say no go laugh again. That be the
I no
last
go laugh
time.
again. That be the last time I laugh. So, but yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
You know the interesting thing though. We always talk about the 2010 World Cup, but it's been 15 years, bro.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
How do you feel sometimes when you look back at South Africa and everything that happened there? Did it sort of
Grateful.
change your life?
Grateful.
Did it change your life?
Oh, it did. It did. Of course, if you play in the World Cup now, everyone is expecting you to sort of like, okay, what is the next step?
Yeah.
And all that. So, but I was grateful for that opportunity at that age,
Right.
be able to be part of the team, not just be part of the team, but to be able to feature. It was just incredible. So thankful to God.
Yeah, I like that. I like that mindset. 15 years ago, Sicho, what were you doing?
He had lots of hair.
That's a great place
Oh
to
my
start.
God.
That's a great place to start. I
Yeah.
had a lot of
But Sicho, yeah, what's up with
Yeah.
your Man United? I don't know what's happening. I mean, you are signing Mbeumo, you're signing Cunha. It's a lot with Man United. But a few months ago, your chairman said you don't have money, but it looks like you have a lot of money to spend on players.
Well, so there is liquid cash for clubs and there is monies that are allowed to be spent. So, for
Right.
example, Barcelona will tell you they are broke, they can't register players. It doesn't mean they don't have liquid, but they can't spend some amount of money because of regulation.
Yeah.
So, Man United didn't. The money, the if you like the owners, the co-owners of the club said, of the club said the club was almost going to go bust if they can continue doing what they were doing. So Man United is a big club. They've got massive commercial values coming in, but they've run out so many losses in more recent years that they are not at liberty to spend a certain amount of money that many people think they can't spend. So they have to be smart about how they go about the summer. So far, it's been just okay. I think they fixed the goal scoring issues they had from last season. You knew Man United didn't have goals in them, but they brought in Cunha and Mbeumo, two players who combined scored over 30 goals or 35 goals. So that actually cushions that goal scoring issue. They are still looking to bring in another striker, whether Isak or Watkins or whoever comes in. That is it. But that's the thing, they have to fix some issues in the middle of the park, and maybe then bring in another defender, centre back, and maybe we'll see how the season goes from there. If they can crack it into the top 6 or top 4.
Cool. I mean, that's a good summary, but it still doesn't, cancel out the fact that your club is being poorly run in the last few years. But anyway,
I just
talk about clubs that are probably being well run. Let's move to Liverpool. But also just so you know, before we just started this recording, news came through that Thomas Partey has now agreed terms with Villarreal. and is set to join them on a 2-year deal. I'm really chuffed for him, especially with recent happenings and with all the news, that's been happening. We've seen players get in trouble. When I say trouble, I mean sporting trouble after similar incidents. But it looks like the next few months are going to be shaping up for him while he deals with all whatever legal issues they are. There are still some good fortunes for him on the pitch. I'll start with you, Sicho, on that.
Yeah, I'm particularly happy because his life doesn't have to come to a standstill for him to go to court and defend himself. Because mind
Exactly.
you, he's come out to say that he's innocent of all the charges. He's not guilty
Yeah.
of anything that has been pressed against him. So I like the fact that his life is not going to come to a standstill. I like the fact that Thomas Partey is still going to be playing football and be working while he tries to clear his name. We've seen in more recent years some players whose lives came to a standstill. Very recently, we remember Benjamin Mendy of Man City. He couldn't play football. He was suspended by the club. The club even stopped paying him at some point. It was after he had cleared his name that he has to take the club to court to try and make those monies back. And since then, his career hasn't been the same. But here is Thomas Partey. And again, massive respect and credit to Arsenal and Arteta. Once those issues came up, Arsenal still gave Partey the opportunity of living his life until proven guilty. And that is what
Right.
Villarreal also offered him. So yeah, for me, I'm happy that he continues to play. He's gone to Villarreal in Spanish La Liga. Many people are saying maybe he should have gone to a bigger team, but of course, you can't downplay the issue hanging over his head. Maybe some
Yes.
big teams
Yes.
don't want to. Some big teams
No,
don't want.
let's be honest, Sicho. Not some teams. All top teams would like
Yeah,
to stay clear of
yeah,
legal issues like that, and we've seen that with Mason Greenwood. We've seen that with Mendy of Manchester City. I mean, the talent is there, the ability is there, and we cannot even discount that this probably was one of the reasons Arsenal, because they obviously knew the inside story and didn't want to go deep into his contract, getting a new
we knew
contract with
it.
him and all that,
Mhm, mhm.
because top clubs know, a thing or two about global branding, and
Absolutely.
it taints the reputation, the image of the club, because even as he's left, people are still attacking Arsenal for covering up their story and all that.
Mhm, mhm,
There are too many
mhm.
facets to a story like that I feel, and that's why I think it's such a big win for Partey to still secure a move in one of Europe's top leagues and at a top
Absolutely.
club when you
Yeah.
have something like this surrounding you. I mean, it's definitely a big one for him.
100% agree. 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Jonah, what's your take on this Villarreal move? I mean, he's played in La Liga before. He knows the terrain. With Atletico Madrid, he has a lot of experience there. This should definitely be a walk in the park for him, right?
It's a good move for him, obviously considering all the other stuff that he's dealing with
Right.
personally. We hope and pray that his name is cleared completely.
Hmm.
Now he can focus on the game and, of course, on family as well, because we are always happy when we see our fellow Ghanaian playing well week in, week out. And, of course, there's a league that he knows, inside out. So glad that he's obviously secure a team now, and we look forward to seeing him play this year.
Yeah, I like that. So Partey, remember, is going to be a 2-year contract at Villarreal, and we hope that he's able to clear his name among amidst all this legal issues, and focus on the football. But of course, some of the questions that have come up after that deal would be: has he lowered his financial demands, because there were lots of talk about the amounts he was mentioning for contracts, for a new contract at Arsenal and for whatever top club that he has to go to next, and that's why a lot of the Saudi clubs were linked to him. Villarreal can never pay the amounts that Partey obviously would demand. So what would be the contractual terms, and why would he then decide to choose that particular club? I mean, there's going to be a lot of unpacking of that particular story in the next few days, and we'll be here
And,
for
and,
it.
and and Terry, what I'm excited about briefly is also because look, if Ghana is going to qualify to the World Cup, we will need a player like Thomas Partey. And so one of
Yeah,
my biggest
yeah,
worries was if Partey was going to be involved in this season, and if the qualifiers came around, he would be available to help Ghana qualify. And the answer has been now. For now, if he's fit around the time, yes. And if Ghana is going to go on and do, if Ghana qualifies, is going to go on and do well at the World Cup, then Thomas Partey will be also important. So it's good for Ghana, it's good for the player, and I'm very happy that he continues to play while he defends and clears his name.
I mean, let's be honest though. It's interesting that you mentioned the World Cup. Let's be honest. I think that with the quality we have in our pool, even if he was not actively playing for a club and he was actively training, and Otoado knew about the training and was involved with, Partey's personal training regime and all that, I have a feeling he was definitely going to be in and around the squad. Especially if he's not banned internationally and he can still feature for country. I don't think that Ghana can do without Partey in any game, especially when he's not like fully committed.
But then
it's
comes
debatable.
fitness. Then comes
Yeah,
no,
I mean
you
that's what I'm
know,
saying. It's debatable. It's debatable
yeah,
because of the
yeah.
fitness, and it also
Fitness,
means
match
that
game.
he needs to involve the national team in his training regime. They need to be updated with his fitness and everything, and they know that you're not actively playing. But if we call on you, you can at least do something. Jonathan Mensah, I don't know, but you are a footballer. Is it possible for a player to actually be out of action and still be able to play once every 3 months or 4 months? Is it possible?
That's a difficult ask, but I would say any serious national team would make sure that you are actively playing. Obviously, it
Right,
won't be fair for the other players
right. That's
that
true.
they are actively playing week in, week out, and they're performing well. And you sit outside for 3 months and get the call up and can't even start. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he's fit, he's healthy, he's playing week in, week out, and he can be able to help the team. So prayers up, and hopefully everything goes well for him.
All right. Yeah, so that'll be it for the Thomas Partey. Now let's go straight to our hot topic for this episode. And today, the question is, what next for Alexander Isak amid the Liverpool transfer saga? Now, remember that Isak has, in the last couple of years, risen to be one of the top 5 strikers in world football. And we are not just talking England, we are talking world football. I mean, you mentioned the likes of Harry Kane, you mentioned Erling Haaland, you mentioned Ousmane Dembele, depending on how you're going to be describing strikers in this regard, Lewandowski, Mbappe, and you have to mention Isak purely for the numbers and the way he plays his football. This is a 6'3", 6'4" player, and the way he glides past players, the way he handles the ball, everything he does on the pitch, the goals he scores, the quality of the goals, the importance of those goals. Isak is definitely a top striker. And so Newcastle knew it was going to be very difficult to hold on to him. And I think this is where Newcastle probably failed. And it's not all their fault. We can explain. And that might be another conversation altogether because Newcastle have actually tried to bring in players. And it's almost as if the rules have been rewritten to prevent Newcastle from signing top players. But like I said, it's a different conversation. But they wanted to bring Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool signed him. They wanted to bring Joao Pedro. Chelsea signed him. They've tried to, sign a few other players and failed. Mbeumo is one of them, went to Manchester United. They've lost their top targets in the forward positions. And after they lost out on all these players, Isak says, well, you guys, we won the League Cup last season, but I want more. I actually want one more. And so I want to go to a club that can meet my financial demands and a club that can meet my career ambitions in terms of winning trophies. And that is where we are right now with Alexander Isak. Newcastle left him out of the preseason squad. The PR excuse was that he was injured, and of course, Jonathan is a footballer. When you come up with some thigh sprain excuses and all that, nobody can really verify that. Back pain, nobody can verify those things. But yeah, he didn't join them, and the reports are that is because he knows there is a bid incoming from Liverpool. Arsenal wanted him. Arsenal fans consider him their spiritual signing, and it's because he sort of like fits their system to a T. But Liverpool signed Hugo Ekitike, and now have made a bid for Isak. Isak has told Liverpool he wants to go. Newcastle he wants to go. Newcastle have left him out of the squad, and he's now hanging in the middle of nowhere. The fans are angry. Liverpool fans cannot wait for the announcement, and everybody is just like in limbo right now. What is going to happen? Citro, I'll start with you once again.
Yeah. Look, couple of weeks ago, if Liverpool knew Isak was going to go on the mini strike, I don't know if they would have held up on signing Ekitike. But they're going to do that
Yeah.
also quite expensive deal on Ekitike now. Isak has made himself available by not going on tour with a team. Newcastle in a very difficult place. If they're not able to keep Alexander Isak, then the projects that they are doing in trying to break into the top six and be a top team probably
Yeah.
falls through. Because all of a sudden, then,
About 4 years ago, they said they wanted to be the number one club. Now we know that
yes,
is impossible because
yeah.
you need global brand, you need to win trophies, and a lot of things need to happen for you to be the number one club in any country. But losing your top players every season is another thing. You can never break into the top six, like you're saying.
Yeah, because all of a sudden now, if you're not able to keep Alexander Isak, then even the top players in the club are wondering if it's the right place for them to be. Are they playing a club that would be as competitive as they were promised? Because Bruno Guimaraes is very well sought after. It's only a matter of time before another top club comes looking for him. Sandro
Right.
Tonali is another player. Botman is one of those players. Fabian Schär could be one of those. So what Newcastle were trying to prevent with keeping Isak would have been to make a statement that we are not pushovers. We are not going to lose our big players. We have a big dream and what have you. But inside Liverpool, inside Newcastle, I should say, are a lot of things that are happening that are not inspiring confidence to some of these players. Like you said, they are missing up on all their top signings that we're trying to bring in to beef up the team, which is not their fault. Because when they go to a player, a big team comes. Like Liam Delap is one of the players who wanted to sign. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing. Liverpool now have come to place a bid on the table. A bid that is going to go up around £130 million. And Liverpool and Newcastle have rejected that first deal. I think eventually the deal could happen. And for Liverpool, they don't want to pass up the opportunity of having one of the best strikers in the world available on the market and not sign him. Because if he stays with Newcastle this season, I guarantee you, Liverpool will face a keener test to sign him from Newcastle next summer when other clubs would know that he's more available with a year left on his contract. So Liverpool
Yeah.
want to do the business now, but the numbers are not going to be easy. And I think Newcastle, Newcastle will painfully have to maybe then allow him to leave, take the money and reinvest it into different positions where it can strengthen the team and make them competitive.
But as we know, it's one thing having money, and it's another thing finding the talent with that money. Because right now, like you said, Liam Delap went to Chelsea, Joao Pedro went to Chelsea, Mbeumo went to Man United, Ekitike went to Liverpool. They are losing all their top targets to the teams that are above them. And this is a team that wants to really make it to join those elite clubs. Which other player is available? It's like no. Imagine what Newcastle are going through right now. Their CEO is leaving. They don't have a sporting director in a very, very difficult summer for them.
Yeah.
How does this all come together? But Jonathan, maybe the question I want to ask though, if you look at the total funds that Isak is commanding, transfer, salaries, plus bonuses and all that comes to about 250 million pounds. Is he worth it? Is he worth 250 million pounds investment?
I believe he does. He's worth that money.
Right.
Obviously, if you include every detail, and I believe what is happening here is Newcastle is trying to buy time, and of course, Isak is also, has demanded that he want to leave because they're buying time to look in the market if they're going to find someone not as good as Isak, but as close as it can be, because you need to invest that money you're going to get. And of course, Isak is a talent that if you lose, it will be difficult to replace. So now Liverpool is also, of course, going back to the table with that offer. And if it's good, Newcastle will take it. But now, what are they going to do with the money? Because now they need to get in the market and get someone that is as good as Isak. And now, of course, looking in the market, who are you going to get that is comparable to Isak right now? So, and there's also a complicated situation for Isak because if it happens, then now he's going to be, okay, yeah, I wanted to leave. You didn't want me to leave. Now the money is here. Okay, you can leave. You want to leave on a good term. So hopefully, Liverpool and Newcastle can, come up with a good deal for him. And of course, he's still young, 25 years old. And he got so much football left in him, so we'll see.
I mean, he's young, 25 years old. Last season, he scored 27 goals in about 42 appearances. He is definitely a striker I would love in my team. He's the kind of striker every team would love at this point, because of his versatility, the way he plays his football, his hold-up play, his dribbling skills. and everything. And I understand why Liverpool won him after signing Ekitike. There was a joke on social media that after Ekitike's first training session, Liverpool realized that they still need Isak, and that's why they are still going in. That's why they are still going in for him. But as we know, this is going to be one of the biggest long drawn transfers of the summer. It could just go down all the way to the wire. I still see Isak playing for Liverpool, though. I still see him playing for Liverpool. Anyway, then there is another striker that has moved, though, but he was also a big talk during the entire transfer window, and that's Victor Gyökeres. He's now moved to Arsenal. Arsenal have found their man. We've all spoken about the last 3 years how Arsenal need a proven striker because they've toyed around Gabriel Jesus, Trossard. These are like makeshift strikers in a way. Jesus is a striker, though. But Trossard is like a makeshift striker. Then they brought in Kai Havertz. He's also a makeshift striker, not the kind of guy that is going to be a fox in the box. Now they have Gyökeres. What kind of season are you expecting for Gyökeres, Sijo?
Well, I'm expecting to go into that number 9 slot and score the goals. Arsenal have not lacked goals, but score the goals in games that are difficult. And that's the difference. When people have said Arsenal need a striker, it is because there are games that we watch Arsenal play. They just lack that physical presence in the box who will just stick one in and they win 1-0. Make it difficult for defenders and they win that 2-1, 3-2. The extra goal that gives them the 3 points. They've not always had that in them. When the whole team is clicking, Saka can score, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz, Odegaard, Thomas Partey, everybody can chip in. Declan Rice can chip in the goals, even Gabriel Magalhaes on set pieces. But it's when it's been tough, when they need somebody who just knows how to score, to be in the box and score, that has been lacking. And they are hoping that is Victor Gyökeres. So, and he scores a lot of goals for Sporting Lisbon. But I'm not expecting him to come into the Premier League and score 25 goals, 20 goals. But I'm expecting him to come into the Premier League. And in games that Arsenal needs a number 9 to do a number 9's job, hold up the play, stretch the opposition, tap in that one goal, make it difficult for the opposition. I'm expecting them to do that job for Arsenal. But we've seen teams who have needed strikers for a long time. They bring in the striker, and the connection and the chemistry is not quite the same. And you know a lot about that, Thierry. When Thomas Tuchel had this Chelsea team, went to win the Champions League, the conversation was, if Tuchel gets a striker, we are dead. Nobody can stop him. Then they went to bring in from Lukaku from Inter Milan, who has scored tons of goals, won the player in the best player of Italy. He comes to Chelsea, and it doesn't work. The whole chemistry in the team doesn't work. Lukaku doesn't fit. Yeah. He also goes to grant an unpopular interview, blah, 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 and Lukaku is gone. Chelsea move on. So if Gyökeres coming in doesn't necessarily mean that he comes to fit into what Arsenal were doing from last season. They need to now build the attack around a number 9. Because first, Arsenal were not crossing enough. Last season, last 2 seasons, they were not crossing enough. Now they have to cross the ball enough and quicker because they've got a physical presence in the box. How would that affect their play? Let the season start and we'll find out.
There is also talk about Benjamin Sesko, who obviously plays for RB Leipzig. He also had a good season last term. 21 goals, 6 assists overall. For Leipzig, he got 39 goals and 8 assists. But that is definitely another person that Newcastle can go for. But Arsenal currently have their Gyökeres, and it's sort of like that striker situation this summer where like forwards are moving all over, especially in the Premier League. Jonathan, what kind of season are we to expect from these players who are moving, who have moved or potentially going to move? And how is this going to shape the Premier League next season?
I think it's going to be very interesting, and obviously Arsenal seeking a striker for some time now.
Right.
They found their guy, but then how quickly can he adapt to the system? Know the movements of the other players, and of course compatibility is very important because sometimes you can score so many goals in the previous league you were playing in, but when you get to the Premiership, it's different. The referees let go sometimes.
Yeah.
And that is, something that some top strikers find difficult in adapting to the Premiership. So, hopefully the clubs that have signed their guys can show up for them and help their team either win trophies or qualify for the Champions League, finish top 10, whatever, top 5, whatever you your goal is make sure that the signings you're making is going to be the ones you actually need.
Right. So that will be it for this segment. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are definitely delving into some more transfer stories as we build up for next season and also look at the quiz between these boys. We'll be right back.
This is the FC Pitchside podcast, the first in an exciting lineup of podcasts by Footy Centre. Footy Centre is where you'd read your intriguing opinions and daily stories about football. From Europe's biggest leagues, the Champions League, international matches, and for Ghanaian fans, get closer to your favorite national teams.
Welcome back here to FC Pitchside Podcast with me, Thierry Nyan. I'm here with Jonathan Mensah and Philip Sicho Atrim. And of course, we've been discussing transfer business between the top clubs in England. And that is where we are going to be continuing. But before we do that, though, just know, and I think you've already, maybe you may have spotted all the gentlemen in black outfits. And it's because Daddy Lumba, as we all know him, passed a few days ago. Very unfortunate news, a legend in our music industry, and he is definitely my greatest of all time. Because I mean, I grew up in a certain BMW where my father would just not play any other song. No other musician would be played. Well, maybe sometimes I'm actually did, but it was always Daddy Lumba. So you can imagine the influence that had on me and the kind of memory that I had of DL. Of course, our thoughts with the family, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. But of course, his songs will live with us forever. Forever, guys. Guys, do you have one pointers to say about the DL?
Legend. That's all I've got to say. Absolute
That's a
legend.
bullet point. I like it. Jonathan, give
The
us
same, the same. He's a legend, one of the best to ever do it in Ghana, and I believe across Africa. And
yeah.
we pray for the family, sending them the strength and wishing them all the condolences.
We are recording this at noon on Sunday, and so Saturday night we saw the vigil that was held for him. We saw all the celebrities there, and we are just grateful that Ghana can come together and celebrate someone who has done great stuff like this for the country. I think it goes beyond the funeral. I think it's supposed to. I mean, that's a conversation for another day. But museums and statues and whatever it is, we need to celebrate our own. You go to different countries and you see how they celebrate people, and we do not know how to do that. We need to start celebrating these great guys. Jonathan Mensah, another man that we need to celebrate. But we need to move on straight to a man that is already being celebrated, and that is RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. Now, we've been talking about strikers, and there's a striker merry-go-round. Think about it. Man United have had Mbeumo and Cunha forwards. Liverpool have injected new forwards, or at least one new forward. Diaz has left, but they could still bring Isak. Arsenal have brought Gyökeres. Chelsea have Leon Delap and Joao Pedro. Even Man City have Rancheki, and all that. And it just gives you an impression that next season is going to be a lot of firepower up front. What kind of season are we to expect, among these top clubs? Aston Villa seem to be missing out because they lost, Duran. And it looks like now they only have Oli Watkins because even Rashford has left to Barcelona. But Newcastle could get Sesko. And if they do, That is the forward merry-go-round that I'm talking about. What kind of season are you expecting?
Yeah, look, I mean, and all the teams that I mentioned are top teams, big teams, and we know that when you've got assured goals in your team, and it's fast becoming a rarity where you get talent who are just bank on scoring goals. Is the reason why a lot of big teams are looking for those kind of players who will just come and give you the goal. Because once you can get the goals from somewhere, everything behind them, you can work it out. Right? If you're able to get the goals into the back of the net, then you work everything else behind the team. So that's what I'm thinking the teams are thinking around. And for some of them too, they are looking at the long-term, prospects of some of the players they are bringing in. For example, when Newcastle were going to bring Alexander Isak from Real Sociedad, many didn't think that he would become the player he was today. But here we are talking about him. Everything went around over 100 million, right? Now, Newcastle see Benjamin Sesko as a player in that mode as well. Liverpool also find that in Ekitike as well. So you're looking for the next big stars who can come and grow with the team and perhaps also have their prime time with the team. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting next season. Strikers coming into big teams, and of course, fans are always going to create the banter on who is scoring more and who is scoring less. So yeah, let the season begin. Let's see who fits. But let's go to Newcastle is a move I like. But let's not forget, Man United are still hovering around Shesko, and then will Shesko
Yeah, that's
again? Will
true.
another top player? Will another
Yeah.
top or another player Newcastle wants leave or forget Liverpool and go to another big club, or will Newcastle now? And when I say Liverpool, Newcastle, wait, let me rephrase that. Will another player that Newcastle wants leave
Uh-huh.
Newcastle in limbo and join a big club, or Newcastle finally get a striker that they want that they've been chasing? Let's see how that goes.
Right. I like that summary. All right, so that will be it. But let's also mention a few things, because one of the major happenings in the last few days has been Tottenham Hotspur. We all know Mohamed Kudus has moved there because Thomas Frank likes him. The former Brentford coach has been monitoring him in London, on the other side of London, when Kudus used to play for West Ham United, and made him his first marquee signing. But that is also making or causing a number of changes at the club. What it means is now we would have the captain and legend of Tottenham Hotspur, Heung-Min Son, leave the club, and he announced an emotional farewell. Was on Saturday that he's moving, he's leaving, and of course a mooted move to the MLS. When Jonathan Mensah was moving to the MLS and people thought he was throwing his career away, they didn't know that top players would be moving there. They didn't know that top players will be moving to the United States, and but well, it looks like Song Heung-min is going to be one of the players to be playing the MLS next season. But let's talk about his time at Spurs in a couple of minutes, because he definitely has contributed his fair share. He hasn't won trophies besides what he did last season in the Europa League against Sitcho's Man United, but he's definitely done a brilliant. I mean, I had to mention it. I'm sorry. Jonah was so excited when I mentioned. Anyway, so let's talk about Son Heung-min then, guys. His legacy at Spurs in a couple of minutes.
I will make it
Jonah
short.
first.
I'll make it short. Thank you, Sicho, because I was going to make it short. But a legend, of course, if you're going to talk about the impact he's had,
Right.
legend, absolute legend. Because
Right.
but if you're going to look at the trophies, then you'll be like, but he's a legend, just like Harry Kane is a legend for Spurs, even though he didn't win anything with them. Great personality, obviously. From what we see from the
Yeah, and
outside,
any
great
player that
personality.
has played with him has great things to say
Right.
about him, to be honest.
Yeah, great personality. So beautiful to watch him play. As I remember one goal he scored from halfway. He took the ball,
Oh
dribble.
yeah.
Everyone scored that goal. Unbelievable player. So glad to have him in the MLS. So legend.
Absolutely. Sitcho, what do you think? South Korea. What do you think the mood in South Korea will be right now, considering they don't produce a lot of top talents like that? To be fair,
Yeah,
and this guy has basically held
yeah,
their
yeah.
flag for so long, for so long.
No, I mean he when Park Ji-sung from Manchester United was exiting the
Yeah,
Premier League or
yeah,
exiting the big stage, South Koreans knew the next big thing was with them. They still had the next big thing because then Son Heung-min was just going through the Hamburg system and had moved to Bayer Leverkusen. He had a very difficult first season at Spurs. I remember he played few games, but the season that followed, Pochettino just shot him to a different level. And look,
Okay.
it's at Spurs where they've not necessarily won, and Jonas said they didn't win titles, but guess what? His last season with the club, he captained the club to win or to break the drought. That is legendary status. Like that is it. Like you've been at the club for all these years, not won anything. And in your last season for the club, you win for them the Europa League as the captain of the club. Like that sticks with every Spurs fan. And you can't write that off. He's a player who could have played for any team anywhere in the world. Oh, my light is gone off, but yeah.
Your light just went off. Oh my god.
But yeah.
All I see is a set of teeth.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can still hear me. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you. We can hear you. But
Yeah. Please.
just for shaggy reasons, I'll move on from that, and I'll move on from you. Hopefully, you're able to open a curtain, or some sort of light comes through the room. But quickly, let me just mention a few things before we preview next week's opener, curtain raiser, in the Premier League, or English football, being the Community Shield. In other transfer stories, Bayern Munich have completed the signing of Liverpool forward Luis Suarez, which we all know. Joao Felix has also joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia in a £43.7 million deal. Manchester United are keen on signing Paris Saint-Germain's Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. Newcastle have completed the signing of England goalkeeper, and Ramsdale on loan from Southampton. And then Spurs captain, we already mentioned that. Man City have also turned on a bid of around £25 million for Forest for James McCarthy. So that's just by way of mentioning some of the key transfers happening in and around England. Now let's talk about Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, because what it means is that is going to be the season opener of English football, the Community Shield. It is always going to be the winner of the Premier League and the winner of the FA Cup. If the winner of the Premier League wins the FA Cup, then it's going to be second place in the league, and that's what it is. And as we know, it is Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace winning their first silverware in so many years, and Liverpool also winning the Premier League. What sort of game are you expecting next weekend, Jonathan?
Two good teams. Obviously, I would say Liverpool is a great team because obviously they conquered everyone in the league, and Crystal Palace obviously won the League's Cup. So Crystal Palace is a good team. Surprisingly, they did so well last year. Obviously, if you have some of the good players in the league, someone like Eze and all that, you are able to compete against the best. So kicking the Premiership season, obviously it's a cup game, but it's going to be very interesting to watch and observe.
Do you think because I mean last season we saw Crystal Palace really cause a lot of upsets. Do you think this is going to be another one of those upsets? Do you think Liverpool should be ready for this?
Liverpool is going to continue from where they left off last year and signing some few key young players in the team. I believe they're going to continue to dominate. So I'm going to give Liverpool the nod on this one.
You know the interesting thing, it's one episode, it's one show, but Sicho has moved from one country to the other. He's moved from one
Man,
nation to the other. Sicho is a time traveler. Sicho is a time traveler.
Teleported. I've
So where are you
teleported.
now? Where are you now? Tell us. Where are you now?
Oh no. Look, I'm still in Ghana. Don't mind anybody. I'm just on the 8th corridor now because my power went off, so it's quite dark in my father's office in the house. So I just shifted to his corridor.
Cool. So that, I mean, I was sorry before I think it'll be fair if I take your view on that. There is Liverpool against Crystal Palace, the season opener in English football, being the Community Shield. We all know what Crystal Palace did last season, winning the FA Cup, and Liverpool also winning the Premier League. Are you expecting an upset here? Do you think this is going to be a smooth ride for Arne Slot's side?
I'm expecting it to be a smooth side from Arne Slot's side. They've had a very good preseason. I think they've played lots of games. It's not like they play in the Club World Cup, so they've not had time to prepare for this. They've had enough time. But you can't dismiss Crystal Palace because they can sit deep, make it frustrating for you like they to City, and catch you on the break with Mateta Eze. But it will be interesting to see if by the time that game comes around, Eze is still a Crystal Palace player. If it's not, it takes so much away from the team. If he is, then all the better. But yeah, we'll see how that game goes. I think that Liverpool will win.
You think Liverpool win? What's your straight call on that, Sicho? What scoreline are you predicting?
Some 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Jonathan, what's your scoreline? What's your prediction here?
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 Liverpool. All right. So 2 goals for Crystal Palace for Jonathan, 1 goal for Crystal Palace. So you people are trying to say that Liverpool's defense is not good enough for this season. Anyway, we'll wait to see. Producer says that we have a few minutes to go. So it's at this point that I bring in the quiz. Guys, are you ready? It's been a while. Have you recharged your batteries?
Let me beat Jonathan again.
Oh, let me beat Jonathan again. Wow. Jonathan seems to be bringing something out of a cupboard. I'm not sure. But all I see right now is a Cristiano Ronaldo shirt, a Landon Donovan shirt, and a Wayne Rooney shirt. Charlie, Jonah, they can't. Helmet. Jonah, do you know since you started bringing this helmet out, you've not been winning consistently? Maybe it is going against you. I can't hear you now. Just say, or the helmet.
Sicho, when I bring the helmet out, you know I'm going to give you concussion, so be ready.
Statistically, the helmet has gone against you, Jonah.
Get ready. Oh no, but it's going to change this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to mention the player, or no, actually, let's do it exact. I'll mention the teams, and you tell me who this player is. We'll try and do this within 5 minutes. Are you ready, guys?
Let's go.
Good. Let's start. This guy, the first club, I wish I can mention it in a tree way. Trepene. It's Trepen. But let's move on from there because nobody will know. And then he played for a club called Sona. From there, he joined a club called Villanova. And then he moved to Criciúma. And then to Aval. And then to AS Roma. To Manchester City. This guy then moved to Inter Milan. And then to AS Monaco. Only to finish his career at Cruzeiro. Who is he?
Can you go through them again, please?
I will skip all the clubs before Europe because you wouldn't know. But it's AS Roma, Manchester City, Inter Milan, AS Monaco, and Cruzeiro. Roma, Man City, Inter Milan, Monaco, Cruzeiro.
Can we ask questions or not?
Yeah, you can. It depends on the question. I'm not going to give you clues, but it depends on the question.
The person from Brazil?
When you look at the teams, yeah, it looks like he's Brazilian. Nobody comes to mind? So far, nobody has suggested anything.
I'm shooting blanks here now.
A Brazilian that played for AS Roma, Manchester City, Inter Milan, Monaco,
Sicho,
Cruzeiro.
where are you?
Where is Sicho?
Sicho disappeared.
Sicho is back in the office. Sicho, are you transporting?
Oh,
Are you
no,
teleporting? Are you?
Sicho, that was like 2 seconds. Wow.
Quick.
Okay, give us some powers. Give us some of that power. Where?
Hey, wait. AS Roma, Man City, Inter Milan.
AS Monaco, Cruzeiro. Very popular player. He's not one of the unknown guys. He's a very popular player. Very, very popular player.
AS Roma, Man City, Inter Milan. AS Roma, Man City, Inter Milan, Monaco. AS Roma, Man City, Inter Milan, Monaco. AS Roma, Man City, Inter Milan, Monaco. Oh, goodness gracious.
Shall I mention the name and just move on so I know nobody will know?
Yes.
All right.
Go.
This player is called Maicon. Maicon.
Oh, no way. No way.
Maicon.
No way.
I told you guys, very popular.
No way.
Very, very popular. And this guy played
The
Roma.
Monaco one beat me. Oh.
I knew it was Monaco and
He played for
Cruzeiro that was going
Monaco.
to throw you guys off.
He played for Monaco. I
Yeah.
was like,
Played very well at Roma. And then to Man City. But he made his name at Inter Milan.
Gosh.
But I didn't want to mention that.
yeah, but then in Monaco, I don't know if he played Monaco before.
Yeah, he did actually. He did.
What year? Yeah.
He played Monaco towards the end of his career. Let me just give you the
Career,
year.
Wow.
So he played in Monaco between. Actually, it was no. He played Monaco before he played Inter Milan. So it was between 204 to 206.
So scrap it. So the question was
Why?
wrong
Why should I scrap it?
because he said from City to Inter to.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
Because I
Monaco.
mentioned it in the other way.
Yeah, that
Yes.
way.
Guys.
True, bro.
Okay.
Jonah, tell him.
So Joseph.
No,
Producer,
it's okay. We
so the
scratch
last
that
5
one.
minutes we will scrap them. So don't count the last 5 minutes as part of it. We are now about to start a quiz. We are now about to start a quiz. No problem.
Yes.
No problem. I'll go get
Yes.
them. I'll go get them.
Yes.
Because
All right.
the thing be zigzag already. Now you did add.
I do Amzak. I do Amzak.
Yeah.
Change the order.
Okay. This guy started his career. Now I want to Google it myself because the way the producer write the thing, I don't know which order make I take them. So make sure say I'm getting the order right. All right, so this guy started his career with Manchester City. Then he moved to Fiorentina and then moved to Aston Villa. Who is he?
Start his career at where?
Man City, then to Fiorentina, and then to Aston Villa. He played only 3 clubs.
Oh, Mika, Richards.
Micah Richards.
Let's go.
Micah
Dale!
Richards. Absolutely correct. Micah Richards is absolutely
I told
correct.
you, bro. When I pull this thing out, bro. Concussion for you. Concussion.
Oh my god! All right, so let's move on to the next player, guys. Next player. Now so first one was won by Jonathan. Second player, this guy started his career at Santos, and then he played at Shakhtar Donetsk, and then Manchester City, Galatasaray, Santos, Gremio, Flamengo, Channeling, and then Santos again. Who is he?
He played for Santos.
Santos,
Then
moved to Ukraine to join Shakhtar Donetsk, and then moved from there straight to Man City. From City, he went to Galatasaray in Turkey, and then he went to.
Fernandinho?
Come again?
Fernandinho?
No. You were close, but not him.
Santos again.
it can't be. It's not Fernando. Is it Fernando?
No. When I say he was
Went to
close, it was
Sevilla.
the O. It was the O at the end, not the beginning, not the F.
Robinho. No, Robinho, Real
Not
Madrid.
Robinho
Can you
didn't
go through again?
Real Madrid. You didn't hear Real Madrid in the.
Oh, wait.
Can
Elano.
you go through again, please?
Elano.
Elano is correct. Elano is correct.
Elano Famos. Elano Famos.
I feel I did you a favor though by saying that it ended with O. I feel I did you a favor.
No.
I'm not going to say those things again.
Fernando ends with I said Fernando. Like I was looking at the Brazilians who had played in the club. It wasn't Robinho.
Okay.
So I just mentioned the Brazilians. Then I ended it Elano. I remember Elano.
Yo, Yamal hint. What for you?
Okay, so now let's move on to this player. This player started his football at Padova, and then went to Juventus, then went to Sydney FC and Delhi Dynamos. Who is he? Padova.
Bernardeschi.
Nope.
You said Padova and what?
Padova, Juventus, Sydney FC, and Delhi Dynamos.
Sebastian Jovinko.
Nope.
No, played for Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't go play for Toronto. That's correct.
Toronto. Sydney FC. Is it Cameroonese?
Nope. This is a very popular player, world class, well respected, legend. And when I say legend, top class, world class, then it means of the list of
Marquisio. Claudio Marquisio.
no, the names that I'm mentioning, you should be angling for a Juventus legend, because no Sydney legend will be a world legend. No Delhi Dynamos will be a world legend.
Yes,
No Padova will be a
yes.
world legend. So it's definitely
Yeah.
a Juventus legend. Who is he?
Del Piero.
Del Piero is correct. Del Piero is correct. Jonathan Mensah wins for this episode. Hooray! Jonathan wins for this episode. Jonathan Mensah is the champion. And what is happening to Sicho right now is he's drinking water.
Let's go.
You guys have realized, but anytime Man City concedes a goal, Pep Guardiola drinks water. And that's what's happening right now. Del Piero is absolutely correct.
We want to know what's in that bottle, bro. We want to know. We want to know.
We want to know what's in that cup, because it didn't. Funny enough, it didn't even work for you. It didn't even work for you.
Let's go.
But yeah, so as it is, Jonathan Mensah has won the quiz for this
Congratulations.
particular episode. It was called the Player Zigzag, and kudos to you, Jonathan. Best of luck to you, Sicho, next week. You were bragging before we started, but it looks like you are very quiet now. Tilting your head left and right. But one other thing that I want to know your reaction for this one, and that's how we end this episode. Ruben Amorim has said, and it's a quote that is just leaking, that he wants to stay at Man United for 20 years. Sicho, what's your reaction?
It's not automatic. He has to work. If he wins, he will stay. But if he does what
But
he did last season,
in the first 6 months, do you think he can last 20 years at Man United?
look, to be honest, from what I saw last season, no. But this is the season we can really judge him, because now he's building his own squad. No excuses anymore for him. Let's see what he can do.
Realistically, 20 years.
It's not possible. And the reason I say it's not possible, I mean, I think he has the age on his side, right? So in terms of longevity, he can definitely survive. But the thing is, he cannot survive because of modern football demands. Ferguson was giving time in the 80s because at the time he could afford. I mean, they could afford that time. Now, Charlie, Newcastle said it's not possible. Nobody's going to give you that time, and there's no way he can win from this season for the next
long.
He's definitely going to have 5 periods, and the club is not going to wait for him. And
even if he wins,
I don't think any coach anywhere in the world, even Ancelotti is under fire.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. Even with all he did for the team, it was time to cut. No way. Unless
you're Diego Simeone, you can stay more than 5 years or 6 years.
Diego Simeone, I have a feeling right now he owns Atletico Madrid.
that one, they can allow him. Okay, now we have Maguire.
Exactly. Anyway, that's how we wrap up.
You know this.
Eventually we'll go for Thomas Frank. But anyway, that's how we wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for joining us on FC Pitchside Podcast. My name is Theo, and I've been doing this with Sicho Atrim and Jonathan Mensah. It's been a brilliant episode. Jonathan is full of smiles because he's a champion for one more week before.
No, you told me that I look good when I smile.
That's true.
And of course, I need to, bring it out. Unless
you look even better after winning a quiz.
Oh yeah. Maybe it was my makeup. My makeup was good. Or maybe Sicho was scared of this concussion.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And that's how we wrap up. See you same time next week.
Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series. Welcome to Footy Center Podcast Series.